Hi, I'm Jericho, the Talentless Creative. So 2 videos ago where I made textured envelope, I mentioned I was going to make a clutch junk journal, and it's long overdue, but I finally did it! Yay! This video, it's not going to be one of those where you're just watching me doing something or making something out of paper scraps. I'm just going to bring you on a tour to go through this junk journal with me. It's not an extensive junk journal anyway, so I don't think it's going to be long. Well, I don't think it's going to be long for me to film this, at least. Okay, so firstly, the cover. I use a paper bag for the cover. The paper bag is actually really good quality because the paper is quite hard. And to cover the writings on the paper bag, I use pages out of a really old flower arrangement book. So this junk journal embellishment, I did it out of paper strips from my digital design prototypes and some very cheap tiny trinkets I bought like years ago. I needed to get rid of it, but I am glad that I can actually use it for my junk journal instead. I wasn't planning on making this kind of closure actually, but then I saw this sentence made by hand from a cash envelope that I got for free during the festivities. So I thought that would be perfect to put as a brand here, because initially I thought I was just going to add an embellishment and then that's it, which most of the time I would do that. The color goes really well with the paper I chose to cover the paper bag, and so I decided to use a double closure instead, so one on the left and one on the right instead of on the middle. Besides, I feel like it makes it look even more like a bag. So I bought this strap adjuster a few years back for a thrifted jumpsuit that I bought online, but then it didn't really go well, so I just kept it around in case I need it. So for the strap, I use a satin ribbon that I bought online, again a few years back, for a whole different purpose. I bought these ribbon for my thrifted clothes, so I just kept it around. But then I'm so glad that I got it a few years ago, because now I can use it for my junk journals. So as you know, fabric ribbons, usually the edges, the threads are easily pulled out. So in order for that not to happen, I actually use a match or a lighter. Oh well, I didn't use a match. I used a lighter to harden the edge. I'm not sure if you can see. Can you see the darkened edges? So that one is actually burned and it's hardened. And then now, no matter how much I pull it, it still stick together. So for the strap adjuster, I hand sew it to the cover, but I made sure that it wasn't too tight. That way I can still slip the straps in. If I remove this, you will be able to see, ta-da! These are the threads. It's quite loose, but it's very secure, so it's okay. And I loosen it on purpose. That way it's easier for me to slip the strap in when necessary. For the straps or the ribbon, I actually paste this with a permanent glue. I think it would be better if it's a fabric glue. I actually have one, but I wasn't thinking much at that time, so. But it still works. It sticks really well. And of course, I attach the strap adjuster first to the cover, and then I paste the ribbon. So on this side, you can see that this is actually the opening for the paper bag, isn't it? But I use it as a pocket instead. And to make it more secure, I also added a tape just to make sure that it's really secure. Alright, so the first thing we have inside the journal is this textured envelope. This is again from 2 videos ago. After I did this one, that's when I thought I have to do a clutch junk journal. So for this one, I'm not gonna go into the nitty-gritty of how I did this. If you missed that video and you're curious how I did this, you can check the description below for the link to that video instead. And then inside this is, ta-da! 2 tags where I can write some stuff. We can journal a little stuff here. And to make this, I used similar method from my, oh my gosh, what is that? From my previous video, from a video before this one. I will link again. If you're curious, you can check that. Because again, I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm trying to film this as quick as I can. And for this one, I actually use a slow stitching technique. Okay, I had to adjust the camera for a bit so you could see the entire thing when it looks like this. Alright, so now the next one, when you open the journal, there's a pocket here. Well, there are two pockets here. These red pockets, again, because the cover is red, it has the warm red color, so I thought it would fit pretty well. So these are cash envelopes, again, that I got for free during the festivities, and I turned it into a pocket for the cover of the journal. And then these are embellishments. I'm not sure if you can see. These are embellishments that I did out of paper scraps because it looked a bit too empty without anything on it. So I pasted the paper scraps embellishment there instead, and I did some tags again for me to write. If you notice, it's not an extensive journal. Even the pages are not that thick. And why? Because as I told you earlier, the paper it's a high quality paper bag and the paper is quite hard. So that's why I couldn't add like a lot of paper into it. I think unless if I cut this section off, but earlier this year, I've converted it into a pocket as part of the journal instead. So I thought, you know what, let's just go with it. Because the pages aren't that many, so I wanted all of the moving elements in this journal to be fully functional, not just a decorative ephemera. I want them to be fully functional for me to write. So I did this tag. There's nothing here because again, I want to write on it. I did this out of paper scraps. I just used these paper strips from my digital design prototype. I was just playing around with it like how I would do for the embellishments. So what I did was that I just spread it out like this, you know, like a fan, like a paper fan, and then I glue it. I glue it like this. And that's pretty much how I came up with this tag. Same thing as this. These are also journaling space, especially journaling space, I think. Wait. Oh. Okay, I think this is a journaling space. I think this is actually a tag out of a packaging or something I bought that comes with a tag, and I turn it into a tag for a junk journal instead. And then this one is a cover of a very, very old magazine, and I just pasted it here to cover anything that was written there. I can still convert this into a writing space by just tearing a blank paper, tearing a recycled paper and paste it here, and then I can write it there. We'll see. We'll see. For now, I'm actually very, very happy with it. Okay, the pages. So most of the pages are textured papers. I've done videos of those before, way earlier on when I was still very, very, very awkward. If you think I'm awkward now filming this, my old videos, I was very awkward there, but I will link it anyway if you're curious how I made this. So yeah, these are textured envelopes that I did using facial tissues, paper towels, kitchen rolls, and even gauze swab. So these pages where I used paper towels or facial tissues to turn it into a textured paper, I can actually write on these. And ooh, this one. Now these colors are actually printed out. I printed it out. I use like various watercolor elements, and then since this is already a recycled paper, so I'm not using any new paper, I'm not wasting it. So I printed out various watercolor elements at the back of it, and then what happened was that after it dried, after I went through the process of making textured paper, after it dried, it actually seeped through the color that's printed. I think my printer toner, the toner that's printed here, it actually seeped through and it actually makes this beautiful like splotches of colors for the other side of the page. And I really love that. I really love doing that for all of my textured paper. I have like an entire folder of just textured paper, my collection of textured paper that I made myself. So the next one, this one I use gauze swab. I think I'm just going to show it to you first. The texture is different for sure. And before I get into that, I use green watercolor element. I printed green watercolor element at the back. Again, this is already a used paper, so I'm not wasting any new paper. So I printed it, and the toner that sticks to it actually seeped through when I actually applied glue and water to stick the gauze swab on the paper. And it forms this beautiful texture and just mix of colors, and I just really I really like it. I adore this so much. Anyway, so if you notice, unlike the surface with the kitchen towel, or what is this again? Facial tissue. There you go. Ooh, I can't really think right now. It has different texture. This one, clearly I can write on it. And this one, I can't write on this. Maybe I can write if I use a marker, right? Actually I can, yeah, maybe I can still write. I think for this page specifically, I'm gonna journal using a marker. Either that, or this part is going to be a visual journal. How's that? It's going to be a visual journal. I can paste some stuff here. I can turn this page into a collage space. Or I can use a marker, because I can definitely write here using a marker, but not a pen. Wow, I didn't realize that before until I made this. Cool! Looks like both of us figured this out, huh? This page, I use tea bags. A few tea bags actually, because you know how small tea bags are. I would remove the bits of tea leaves inside and just wash it. And then I will keep it for a later day where I will make this. This is the page. I should really show you a close-up of it at least. For this method, I was actually inspired by treasure books. And the back page, same thing, well, similar. I printed some elements, but this time I printed coffee stain elements at the back. And then the same thing, because I used the same method with glue, white glue and water, and the color that's printed at the back actually seeped through. Next one is this page. Now for this one, I separate the plies, and then I just distribute it across the page to cover everything. So I can journal there. Nothing much going on at the back. I think I just added some stains at the back using my expired lip tint to add some color. Next one, now this one is actually just a regular paper. I don't even know why I added this here. I should have done something with it, but I did not. This is just an old sheet music of mine that I'm no longer using. This is like from way back in the day when I was still young and, well, dumb. So it does look a bit used. I guess that's why I just took it anyway. I'm not sure if the camera is capturing this. This page, because it is an old sheet music, it looks very used actually. That's why I think I didn't do anything out of it, because it already looks a bit aged, and I feel like it complements the other pages quite well. Oh, and by the way, because there are musical notes here, clearly I can't really write here, do I? I'm going to do some collage work here, collage artwork here, so this is just going to be an art page for me instead of for me to writing it down. Alright, the next part of the journal. More pockets. So these red pockets are part of the cash packets that I use to make these pockets over here as well. I just cut them into half, make it pockets like these, and on the other half I made smaller pockets at the back of the cover. Each of these pockets, I embellish it with my paper scrap embellishments, same thing as what I did here. So otherwise it would just look very plain, so that's why I added these embellishments. And I'm so glad, because I have like a bag of these and I haven't been using it that much, and I'm so happy I could use it for this junk journal. Now for the tags, these two actually came from a paintbrush packaging, and I just cut it into pieces, and I didn't even cover most of it because I feel like the elements, the colors fits pretty well with the whole vibe of this junk journal. And I just pasted some stamps that I got for free from a bookstore many years ago, pre-COVID. And the back, I can use it as a journaling space. So I just dusted the edges with my expired lip tint to age it a little bit more. Same thing as this actually. I added some stamps. This one comes from a recycled cardstock. I pasted it with acrylic painted paper scraps. All of the tags are usable in this junk journal. The pages are not that many, so I wanted to make sure that everything is actually usable or functional. Okay. We have more tags over here. Let me remove all of the tags first to show you the belly band. This actually comes from a long strip of just paper scraps that I made. I'm gonna link it for you in case you're curious. There's some space for me to slip in my tags or papers, depends what I want to. Most of these tags are made out of, again, paper scraps. Of course, it's me we're talking about. Of course I'm gonna use paper scraps. It's pretty much similar as what I did with my other paper scraps. This one comes from my previous video of me making junk journal tags using clear tape and paper scraps. This one comes from a digital design that I did last year, a contemporary experimental digital design that I did last year. I don't really use the printed version of it anymore, so I just cut it into tags, and this is part of that piece. To cover whatever there is at the back, I use recycled paper. That way I can use the back to write. Now for the next part of the journal. We're not done yet. There's two parts left. This pocket. This is actually the base of the paper bag, the entire paper bag, but I converted it into a pocket. Now this one I got for free from a coffee chain here. They had like a special coffee blend and they actually included this when I bought it. I'm just gonna use as a decorative tag. It's not functional, but it's more decorative, and again, because there are so many red in this junk journal, so I thought the picture kind of suits the journal, so I'm just gonna keep it here. And then another piece that I have is this. Now this is the one, you know, when this is closed, there's actually this one peeking out as an ornament for the bag. Some clutch bag is usually like that, isn't it? There's some like ornament from the zipper. So I thought I wanted to make something like that. So this one, I wanted to try something a little different. And then the writing space is inside. This is a recycled cardstock paper. If I feel like writing something, I just put this out and I can write it. I can write horizontally or vertically. It depends. And I will just place it here and let this peek out. Okay, the final part. We finally reach the final part of the journal. Initially, this was just blank, so you just see these two strips here and then there's nothing here. And I thought I would just leave it as is. As we know how bags are or clutches are, some of them has pockets in the back. So I thought it would be more fun if I can add pockets in the back. These two pockets, it actually comes from a piece of paper scrap. So I cut it into half, but instead of a straight cut, I did a squiggly cut. So that's how I achieve the shape. So I pasted one up here and another one down here. That way there's a double pocket instead. And like my other tags in this junk journal, these two, I'm going to use it as a journaling space too. I can place this here and then here, like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've been through all of it. I have another idea for a video, but that one I just have to do it by myself first, and then I'll make a video out of it. Close it here and close it here. Pull this one to secure. Pull the other one to secure. There you go. Oof. I really love this journal. I'm so proud of myself for making this. I know it's nothing, but it's just a personal thing. I'm so happy I did this. Alright. Thank you so much for watching. I know I don't usually say this by the end of a video, but thank you so much for dropping by. And I'll see you in the next video.